hello. We are live from Spa-Francorchamps for the third round of the ACCSimSeries Silver Split. I'm your host, Julian Kastrup, and tonight is not Julian Strasser. It is Sunday's very own Gareth Thomas. Gareth Ronda. Gareth.
Hello, I'm not Julian Strasser. I'm happy to be here.
And you're not Gareth Thomas either.
No.
So that was my one error today. Now, I don't think this track needs introduction, but Gareth, do you have one anyway? Just because.
This is Spa-Francorchamps. It's not in Spa, and it's not that near Francorchamps either.
Oh.
But that's what it's called, and it's a super famous old school track, driver's track. They love it. All the F1 drivers always rave about how good it is to drive. It's good fun, but a lot of people also die here. Incidents are plenty, big crashes, good fun.
Is that a hint for me to show something? Because I think it is. Yeah. Last weekend there were a certain race on a certain server, and if you haven't seen this yet, just sit down, have some clean pants on, because this is an amazing crash. We're just starting here. Yeah, rolling start. I don't actually remember. I think it's SimGrid that hosted this.
SimGrid, yeah.
Yeah, and you just see.
Multi-class. There's Chris Meadows, one of our driver stewards, leading one of these races in the middle of there in the blue McLaren. I'm there in the black, red, and yellow Porsche at the back. I'm creeping my way through now.
It's amazing.
Pink Aston ahead of me. Steve Hughes, Nicholas Alvarado, two other community members, both managed to qualify well enough to avoid this. But turn zero incident, as Rob says, utter chaos. Hilarious.
Let's see it again. I think 9 or 10 I think maybe 12 guys got through it alive.
Yeah, about that.
So let's just hope we don't have that one today. Because, I mean, I don't know how many stewards we have, but they are going to get some real gray hair if that crash happens again. Now, as I said, we are at round 3, so we're halfway through the season. I'm just going to go over some good old quick championship standings. Not surprisingly, Ollie Henley is leading Tier 3 because he's won 3 races. Brendan McVie and Shubik Chatterjee coming in at 60 and 50 points. But it is Ollie's championship to lose. 20 people have gotten points. The exceptions being Florian Guldenich and Shane Martin. Especially Guldenich is interesting because he's trying every week. But it just ain't happening. Are there anyone here, Gareth, that you have any interest in, so to say?
Yeah, obviously Dan Terry and Chris Meadows, both big members of the ACCSS community, both helping organize and run things, so it's always good to see these guys. Shubik Chatterjee as well, it's a guy I've driven a decent amount with. He's a fun guy. And then Brendan McVeigh, one of the guys running now New World Racing, which is the rebrand of ACCSS Americas, our sister org. So all good to see them not racing.
Of course, Chris Meadows here, not crashing apparently, so that's a good one. Moving on to Tier 4, our lower split today. Jack Harvey is doing really well, but he is within striking distance. No, he is. Fabian Poigny is within striking distance. They have 2 wins each. I mean, that could go either way, and I haven't looked at the track yet, but I know Poigny is doing well. I think Harvey is doing well too. But don't unrule Fabio Sicanzi in third, because he has a shot too. And same question as before. Anyone here that you care about, Gareth?
Well, we've obviously got Stefan, but I don't believe he's here this week. He's got a bit busy in his real life
Busy
recently. We also have, of course, Adam Rayner, who's a guy who's been around this community for a long time. Good to see him. And then Tom Tweedy also, who's been very active in our chats.
Here,
Good to see
actually.
him, and it's nice to see multiple people winning races. Jack Harvey taking both wins at Barfirst, and Pjodne taking both wins at Nürburgring. So you can see if someone else will take both wins here, or if we'll get more of a varied response.
You can't see her on the screen, but Serenity Moral missed the first race, and had two horrible races on. What the heck were we last week? We were on a track. We were on Nürburgring. Two horrifying rain races on Nürburgring. The weather forecast, if I can just go back on the track here. Oh, here we go. It's sunny. It's beautiful. No horrible surprises unlike last week.
Absolutely, and as this is Silver Split, any weather that is set will be set for the entire race. So there's no risk of rain for any of these guys right now.
I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy that. Also, I'm just seeing that our chat is having a debate about our beards.
Oh yeah,
Apparently, I have the better beard.
definitely bigger.
I mean, definitely bigger. I mean, yours is redder. I like the red
color.
color. Yeah. That was a complete detour. Alright, let me just press one or two buttons here because we got around 5.5 minutes left. Go here and zoom a bit out because when you have a zoom function, you might as well use it. Alright, that was too much. Just want to go over the flashpoints of the track already because Rouge is what's the word again? Dangerous. Yeah, there is. And so is Radiron, but I want to take a few moments to appreciate a certain non-hairpin. I think you know what I'm talking about here. Turn whatever it is that's after Lecombe.
Bruxelles.
Yes. Have you ever forgotten to break into this corner?
Probably. It's a corner that you need a lot of patience for. It's an interesting one because of just the way it's angled. It's not like a lot of hairpins where you can sort of get halfway through and then just plow out. You need to wait quite a while, so you end up coasting a lot around there before you can start putting the power down to get down towards
Actually,
pure.
you see one going wide there. It's,
Everyone always talks about Eau Rouge and Radian being the big danger points here, and they definitely can be. But I find at the start of races, especially when people are thinking that and are being careful through there, La Source and Bruxelles is where you get a lot more of the actual incidents of people going off wide and trying to get too wide and jostling each other because people know that you shouldn't go too wide through Eau Rouge too much, but through these corners you can go too wide, and so sometimes that is where you get more incidents.
But you should be careful because as I'm now showing here, it goes very downhill. And if like your suspension is not set up, you'll kill yourself, or well, probably someone else. You mentioned the source. Let's just go up here actually. Doo-doo. Yeah, I know. I'm in love with this free camera. That's narrow. That's real narrow. And horrifying, because you're coming... Well, you're not in this configuration going fast, but you're coming in fast, and then you'll... Well, you want to get the best exit, but you never do, right?
Yeah, it's a very tricky corner to get right, and an incredibly important corner to get right, because the speed that you carry out of there is the most important thing for getting speed down the straight afterwards. If you can get your good run through Rouge and Radian, it's where you come from La Source that really says whether you can overtake or not.
And the last danger point on this track, since we are down here, and perhaps you could confirm this, Gareth, the pit lane. Because we have some people starting from the pits today, I think.
Definitely do.
What I would describe as the world's longest pit lane.
It's definitely a big one. We have two drivers starting from the pit box today, which is not a great way to be. Hugo Sanchez and Andrew Hearn both have box penalties. So
they had violent Nürburgring races.
Depending on exactly where they get their pit box, it can make it better or not. But it's awful either way. Such a long pit lane, and you're at that pit limiter for so long.
We don't actually know where they're pitting. I have not exactly had the pleasure of checking that just yet. But we'll keep an eye out. But when they start from the pits, I don't remember, do they start from the pit booth or do they start from the line? I've never had to start from the pits, so I simply don't know.
We'll have to check. I think they start from their pit box, but we will have to have a quick look just to make sure.
Just a Tom Tweedy shot, just because it is a Bentley. And I know some people are wondering, why isn't the main Bentley boy here? Well, he has a cold today. Yeah, that's right. Julian the Austrian is sick. It's sad. The Andrew Hernger go past. 30 seconds until a little something called qualifying. For those of you that don't actually know the rules, it's split qualifying. 15 minutes for Tier 4 drivers, and then 15 minutes for Tier 3 drivers. At least, that's how it used to be. We'll see.
Yep, that should be how it's going.
That should be. I mean, you never know. You never know. I've seen many things go wrong in this league. We'll just cut over. There you go. At fingers.
We have quite a few drivers in the 219s, but no one quite in the 218s yet. Do you think we're going to get there today?
I got some people that I'm optimistic about. I mean, especially Menning in the Mercedes, because it is a top speed heavy track. Let's be honest. Let's see if anyone else I really like, but I think we're going to see at least 2 drivers in the 218s.
A lot of Ferraris up near the top, which isn't surprising. When you get to the sort of high-speed tracks with Sector 1 and 3 both relying on a lot of high speed, having those cars with the good aero packages is really important. So the Ferrari, the McLarens, and the Lambos you very normally see up there. Some of the chunkier cars like your Merc and your Bentley can top out a little bit because they don't quite have the good aero action going on.
But I mean, it's not going to be like last week when we had 6 Ferraris in top 10, I think. Hey, let's go. Someone actually is shouting out some guy. Torsten. That would be Mr. Yatke. Let's just go into the garage here. And if I can find the right camera.
In a blue Audi. There's a couple of drivers in the Audi today. We have Torsten. We also have Fabio Sicansi.
Our number 3rd in Tier 4.
Are they the only 2? They seem like the only 2. So they're going to have...
No. We got Fernandez as well.
We have that one? Nice. So
yeah.
These guys are going to have to be real careful because the Audi is overall pretty decent, pretty stable. But then at certain corners, when you're really pushing the aero limit on it, it will just snap and kill you. And up through Eau Rouge and up Radian is one of those places where we're going to see at least one of the Audis, if not literally all of them, die.
Yes. All right, let's just see if we can find the first driver to go on the outlap. Actually, we can actually answer that question now about where people start. Because I'm just looking for my display here, and some people are definitely starting on the good pit lane. Very curious, actually. It's just 5 cars for some reason. That is very weird. Anyway. Yes. Buttons here.
So Nathan Burnswood is our first driver leaving the pit lane right now.
Actually, I'll go for the race camera here first. And I will unmute the game, and then we'll get to Nathan Burnswood. Pinky promise.
Oh, that's a nice
Oh,
catch
there is
delivery
actually a
there.
car
Big
out
fan of that.
before him. Number 829, I think.
829. How is he so far out?
I don't know.
Holy.
It's Tom Tweedy. Oh, that's because he had that good pit.
Oh, he was on the good side of the
Yeah.
pits. So that shows you the difference that being in the right side of the pits can make. Because in that golf-looking Bentley, he's already most of the way around the track now.
And hello, Meta Mims man. Nice to see you. Our biggest fan, so to say.
God bless.
God bless. And a technical question, isn't it 900p resolution? That's actually a good question. I don't know what the game is actually outputting right now. Oh, it should be outputting 1080p. Just so you know that. At least that it should be.
So we're coming up to the start of the lap now in the lovely golf liveried
I'm
Bentley.
gonna put you on board here. So you're gonna go ahead and talk about the lap while I fix the game. Or fix the stream, actually.
So, as I said, La Source, super important for getting the speed out down onto the straight. Got to try and the line's really tricky, but you want to try and cut in tight so you can start. You want to sort of dive in deeper than you think to get as accelerating as early as possible to get down to here, really close to the wall as you should be, and then you can, in most cars, go pretty much flat through here. Gets really wide there, and it's going to probably have his lap invalidated from going out.
It's a real possibility.
Far. Absolutely, but we can keep watching him because it still should be a decent lap. He's strong braking in for La Source, which is this
that is Lecombe.
Right left, Lecombe, yeah, my bad. That really easy to get on the loud pedal a bit too fast there and get spinning around. You'll definitely see that happening in the race. Probably one of the first death points we'll see, along with, as I said, Bruxelles coming down here.
Yeah,
going
that's what I talked about.
A little bit wide. Yeah, pulling in too much speed through there, as Lars said, coming down to No Name, where you really want to brake super early and hooking a little bit faster than Tom did there. You want to be... it's one of those corners where you brake deceptively early and throw yourself into the corner so you can carry as much speed as possible through. This corner, Pouon, as again, brake, you get a huge amount of speed through it. You can basically be full throttle through most of that corner, just powering out. And then you are into this nice right-left here, coming up to Stavelo. It's probably the least interesting part of the track.
That
is Tom Oof.
I think that lap's invalid.
There's basically what I had pointed out you could do on in Lecombe, but slightly further down in the track.
Yeah.
In campus.
So we're just gonna go back on Burnswood because his lap still works.
Yes, he has not disqualified this lap either, so he can keep going, setting a decent pace. Nice and wide onto the curb there, which you're allowed to do, into Stavelo. Stavelo is another one like La Source, which is super important to get a good exit from because it basically your full throttle from Stavelo through that next corner, which is essentially just the exit to Stavelo, and down this whole wiggly straight here to everyone's favorite high-speed left-hander of Blanchimont. You can see in the Ferrari, full pedaled all the way down into there, and then the big braking zone of the chicane, which is a really tricky point for a lot of people because you're at such low revs, such low gearing, the slowest part of the track, and again, another point where it's really easy just to get on a bit too fast and spin around.
But it is in June 19.5.
June 19.5, a very good time, very respectable for your first run especially. Coming through with 20s.
Yeah. I'll find some good camera angles here as we wait for the first lap times to tick in. Eric Strom, who I would like to apologize for almost insulting today. He did say, "Oh, I'll probably be in the back of the grid," but he's at the back of the grid every day. Still like him though. Great guy.
He is a lovely guy, yes. Been with ACCSS for a long time.
And even brought his son in here.
Yep.
Which I point out every week for some reason.
Buffing out our numbers.
Oh, your new co-host for Sunday, I believe. I don't know if it's official yet. Mihai Hoinarescu.
Yep, Mihai will be stepping in to cover from Stefan, as he can't make it.
Stefan being a busy man. Oh, another one that we love to watch, and I just want to give you a chance to pronounce his name now. So,
I have noticed this, and I have been thinking of how it would be. Tondiri seems like a strong first name, I think. Tondiri, and then Pambuashi.
I think you have to
Is it
pronounce
Pambuashi?
the M.
Is
Pandirachi
it like one of those
Mpambashi?
sort of things?
Yeah, I don't know.
Mpambuashi.
Still pretty fast guy, so we'll probably see
Yeah,
him again.
he's been doing good. He's quite high up in his split for this championship, driving the Lexus.
Perennial fan favorite, Leonard de Monk. Are you in the chat tonight, fans? Because we know you love the guy.
Very bright coloured Aston. I like the pure white with the pink.
Oh yeah.
It's a strong look. No one else reaching the 219 that Burns would have reached quite yet, although Serenity Moral is putting herself really close up there, just ahead of Mihai and Fabian.
And Mihai is about to set a new lap time. We should put him into 219s. Yes, 299. Behind him somewhere is Jesper Eriksson, who is not quite looking at it, but would actually also be sitting a good time. It's quite fluent. We are getting to it as we race here. Getting people shouting for people here. Eric Hodge is in with a good lap. What time?
Yep, Mihai has set is to become the second person to set a 219, only just dipping below that time. Serenity Moral is on an improvement to her lap, along with Bruce Hughes, quite a good improvement from him coming out as well. Adam Rayner putting himself up into 7th position.
Ben Kobe, last week's driver of the day. Not quite his favorite track, I think. And no techno bug. Nothing has happened yet because we're just qualifying.
Yeah, not quite the start of the race yet, but the start of qualifying has set down a couple of people already in the 219s just for AMS, which is very impressive.
Okay, we're gonna go back to
here.
Moral here because she is up 8/10 right now.
Yeah, really strong lap coming here through Stavolo at the end.
She is showing that.
Yeah, good early acceleration out of Stavolo.
She's showing that promise that I saw in her 2 seasons ago when she won the AM championship. Over a second ahead. This could be a 218 actually.
Absolutely, she's one of the multiple people in here to have been lucky enough to get some coaching from the man Stefan. I know Dan Terry has said that Stefan's coaching helped him a good deal being fast around here in season 2, I think it was. So good to see it's paying off because she's just kept improving her lap through here.
Oh, I think this is gonna hurt.
Seconds up.
218.8.
Big lap coming out from Serenity.
That might even be a overall pole, actually.
It could be. It was faster than anyone we saw in practice before now.
And right before her is Fabian Poigny, who was 6 thousandths ahead of Pernswood.
Yeah, only just beat Nathan. Really close there. She goes and cuts the corner a little bit too much there in his fantastic Soy Boy livery.
Wide. Up to championship number 3. Sikansi here had a very good Rouge and Radeon. Maybe he can build on that. Currently a second up.
Yep, and a lot of that, like I said, is going to come from him getting a strong exit on the source and just powering him through the rest of that first sector. A good setup on there. The Audi, a decent area setup in terms of the car.
We're just gonna cut away to Burnswood because he is approaching the end of the lap and he is actually in a position to do 218. Oh,
And he's gone with it.
218.9.
Nice.
Now I'm just thinking, who am I gonna show here? Yeah, we're gonna go back to Sikansi because he also has a shot at it. He is 1.3 seconds up. And no, guys, we don't have predictions set up because I don't think any of us lives in a country where we can actually do predictions. Twitch predictions. I don't know if you've seen those, Gareth. Twitch predictions.
I know that Dan is a big fan of those things.
I mean, damn right we want them.
You can throw your predictions in the chat, though, and we will note them down and see if any of you get them right. As
here comes Fabio. 1.5 seconds.
1.5 up. Not going to be the 218, but it's going to be a pretty good 219.
219.5. I'm an optimist.
Absolutely.
And down here to Scott Walker.
Yeah, Bawashi as well is coming across 1 second ahead so far.
I want to see that AMG go fast.
If Tanduri watches this back, I hope it's okay with me calling him Bawashi, because Bawashi's quite a comfortable thing to say.
I mean, we've been calling him Turbo Tondi for the past 2 weeks. So.
Okay. And he sets a great lap, 119.5. A little bit ahead of where Fabian was.
Adam Rayner is somehow P8 and he's also parked the car, so that's terrible camera work. Hey, David Cox, one of our new guys here today. Justin, very fresh.
Not quite going to make it past the 220s there. He lost a little bit of time in the last chicane, which ruined that. But strong lap nonetheless puts him up to 13th position out of the 21 drivers we have so far. 22 drivers.
Yeah,
one of whom hasn't set a lap so far.
Let's go to him, actually. Mika Lücke.
Yeah, this lap is still valid.
Oh.
It's not as fast as he has done before, but he's at this point probably just wanting to set a banker lap.
He will need that, yes.
Yeah, he's not gonna. I doubt he's gonna get round in time to do another try.
Actually, there is Rodelli as well, who for some reason has not gone out. I don't remember. He doesn't have a penalty, does he? I don't think he has a penalty.
Rodelli does. Rodelli is a grid penalty, so he's not going to have to start from the box. Thank God for him. But he is going to have to start from the back of the grid.
Okay, we're going to go back on here with Burnswood because he is apparently on a good lap now. He could take the pole position if he does even the slightest improvement now. This will also be his last shot because Tier 3 guys will be coming on track now. Yeah. See him go past. Might be a pole. It is 2:18.7.
That's a really nice run
Good
there
one,
from
yeah.
Burnswood on the last chance, just making it.
Fast making it. Just gonna see the tier 3 guys warm up. I got some bad news. I can't actually upscale the graphics of the stream because it's live. So, there we go. It goes into the notebook, and we'll just drag it out sometime next week.
Okay, so
Who's our first tier 3 guy out? All gravel.
right,
All
it has
spinning.
been asked for, and so I have worked out how to do it. Let's see if it works.
I'm curious. Predictions?
Boom.
Yes, here we come. There we go.
Who is gonna qualify highest out of the two guys in the split who are most involved with the running of ACCSS, Dan Terry or Chris Meadows?
I mean, I'm not a betting man and I'm not allowed to influence it, but I'm gonna go with Dan.
Will we have any believers in Chris? That's the.
I got many believers, but
You've got the first 5 minutes of the session to place your predictions.
I can't bet because I'm a streamer. That's unfair. I'm gonna go on my phone because I think I could do it.
As long as you're not a mod, you can do it.
Ah, but I'm a mod on my main account. Never mind. I wanted to influence it and just bet everything on Chris.
Let's go then. As looks
Dan?
like, was it Dan Terry? Was he out first as always?
Yes, he is the first valid tier 3 lap right now.
He loves getting out there before everyone else. Likely
Sure does.
lining up at the end of the pit lane, ready to go when it was his chance.
Plus, there's always a good opportunity to look at an Aston, right? There's always a great reason to do so.
It's a lovely looking car, absolutely is. He comes through Stavro, gets a bit too much there on the first curb, but takes the second curb nicely. Has to lift a bit more than we saw the Ferraris having to. Has actually invalidated his lap there by going too far out onto that curb.
How very
See how much
daring.
he has to lift through here compared to the Ferraris? He can do it full throttle. And then those powerful Aston brakes. Best in
Big
the game.
old chunky British metal.
Yeah,
But not a valid lap time. But Jason Daly is the first guy to actually see the lap time now. I think. Probably. Oh, there you go. Just a simple banger lap. Now let's see if we can
so
find
right at the top, not having too many of our top split drivers jumping into the goal yet, but we've still got quite a pack of them to come through.
Just gonna find the right person here to watch Nathan Wells for a bit. Good driver. Just very unlucky, I think. Oh, we're actually gonna cut to another one. Our other new member of this week, Benjamin Cons. In his consistency GT3, where Cons is spelled with a K. Because he's cool with a K. Okay?
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you. You can go across the line here. With very little fanfare.
Paul Cramp so far, the fastest of our are pro drivers, making it all the way up to 13th. He is right now the fastest driver to have not dipped into the 219s.
A very weird distinction, or very weird achievement, I think. We're gonna go on with Daly here because he will dip into the 219s unless he makes a mistake now. Just to reiterate, the current leaders are Burnswood, Morrill, and Turbo Tundi. Sorry. They don't pay me enough to pronounce these names.
Brian Dole has hopped up to 12th position. He's become the first pro to drop into the 219s.
Okay, well,
Daly,
Dale will be the second then, right?
yeah, making a run to be the second one. Coming through Blanchemont near the end of the lap. Into the hairpin.
Huh? Ah, there we go. 219.5.
It's done.
And we're gonna cut back to Paul Cramp because he is next. And he will join them in the 219s. Doing that downward shifting. Vroom, 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 vroom. 219 free. So, Ollie Henley, 3-time race winner. Let's look at him for a bit.
Yeah, Ollie Henley should be setting a really fast lap now. Already 6 temps up over
some
time. I'm not sure which time our broadcast tool is
It
going
is
with
saying
there.
218.7, but I think that was an invalid lap.
Yeah, I think the 6 temps would be over his practice lap, which was 219, I think. So I think he might be in the 218s. Or the 217s even.
We'll come back to him in a moment, because let's look at Irvin Schultens. Who is not very interesting, but we're going to look at him anyway, because he is actually up a second. And because it's a nice Ferrari.
Yeah, that's a strong amount of improvement. Unfortunately, we'll only jump him up a few places, but that puts him to the point where once he's there, every small improvement from there will be jumping him up a load of places, because that's where the pack starts to get really tight.
But any improvement is good improvement.
Absolutely.
And now back to Henley, because he is a few hundred meters behind him.
Yep, straight diving into the chicane. This lap time has not been disqualified, so he will be able to catch it, and he is pulling up to being a second up from whatever time it's measuring against. Not the greatest exit from there, but he dives right up to the top of the table.
218.4. Oh yeah. Now let's go check in on our prediction, or bet, so to say. Find someone. Chris Meadows is currently P30. And in P42 is Dan Terry. I don't know when. We'll keep you posted on that. Go back to Nathan Wells, who is hoping to see if he can actually do well today, because he's fast. He was very fast on Bathurst. Until he was killed. Twice. And yes, Doug Webb indeed. But Lewis Webb has made his own grave, and he will be in prison forever. Ain't that so, Gareth? Have I lost my co-commentator? I think I have.
I'm here.
Yeah, it's just your camera has fallen down.
was giggling at Rock. Yeah, because I have my phone on a stick, I have to put it in front of my screen for it to show my face. So it's on my little side table now.
Completely missed. Aaron Shelton's we're apparently looking at 221. Oh, 222 1. There we go. And here is Paul Greatrix, who might actually be in the 218 club soon.
Yeah, he's pushing for a good lap time so far. Did get the greatest exit out of Stavolo and is losing a little bit of time because of that. But still, a strong improvement could be putting him in the 218s, as Lars said. All about now the chicane, which can be a big loser.
I don't think it is
gain
actually.
too much time through there.
Very aggressive, very good.
He's fast through there, but the exit is the most important thing. Still decent. He still went up a little bit.
218.9. So that's 6
position.
people. People in 218s.
Good job. No one looking like they're going to push into the 17s yet. Ollie Henley is back out on the track and going to try and do so on his outlap right now for his second run around the track.
Now, I'm not going to be the guy who makes a prediction for the race, but I think Ollie Henley is going to win it again. Just a hunch. Prediction we can make, however, is that Dan Terry is now P19 and Chris Meadows is still P33, so good thing I didn't put all my points in Meadows. Even if I could.
Yeah, a lot of people have joined into the trying to catch the commentator's eye with their team name game, and I've been very much enjoying it. Unfortunately, my last team name was perhaps a bit too prescient.
I'm curious. Ah yes, that is a nice Honda.
Yeah, it's quite nice. It's like slightly I feel it's like halfway between the old Vodafone McLaren and.
Is he lagging or did he just park the car? I think he actually parked the car. He lost 3 seconds. That's very weird.
Yeah, possibly had a bit of a distraction in real life, perhaps, or moved his pedal about a bit.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
I've had a lot of people when I hop into practice complaining about me going slow down the wrong side of the straights because I'm still trying to align my pedals correctly.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Greatrix here with a good lap.
Greatrix improving from P5 already, which is already a nice position.
Nice. 2:18.6.
Yeah, so close to hopping up more positions. Really nice seeing him run up. Just jumped Serenity.
We keep going back to Wills because he keeps having good first and second sectors, and then he loses everything in the third sector.
So him and Andy Thorpe are the only 2 drivers out on track so far to be putting in improvements to their lap times.
Now that you do mention it, let's look at the back. Keith Griffel is a guy I completely forgot to mention this week. Mostly because he hasn't got a lap yet, but well, actually he does, but he's about to set a slightly better lap.
Slightly better, yeah.
Well, I mean, 2 seconds better, but
0.8 seconds so far. Obviously, a little bit slow through the middle of the chicane, but as we've seen, it's more of the exit that is important, and still a loss overall, but not too bad. It's going to jump him up a load of places.
You haven't mentioned Shubhik Chatterjee, and that's because he's somehow P35. Which is
not the greatest run for Chatterjee.
And he's not the only one. Brandon McVie is 26th. Again, very
Hopefully
unusual
for
for
these guys being more consistent during the race.
There are very fast people, and but you're just not having a good qualifying. See, Nathan Wells is coming across the line. Yeah, Paul Great. Paul Invalid. I like it.
Yep.
See, I'm trying to find someone who's actually on a good lap. Andy Forbes. There we go.
Yeah, Andy Thorpe looks like he might be the last person
Yeah,
to
he will
actually
be the last
improve
guy,
his
yeah.
lap time. And yeah, great run by DT, as has been pointed out in the chat, up to P7. So he has well and truly beaten Chris Meadows.
Yep. Chalk up the points. Yes, we have 44 cars, of which 40 has set a lap. The fastest is Ollie Henley and the slowest is Griffle. Now, I'm gonna go prepare my voice because I'm about to do a grid walk. Actually, before we get to the grid walk, let me just... Nope, actually no, we'll just cut that now. Okay. Oh, we've actually changed the session time. It's not 3 minutes anymore. I've done 4 minutes, actually. Okay. Let's see. Sorry for the camera work, people. I'm just setting up this. Okay. Good sir. Dear Gareth, are you ready for a grid walk?
So is he?
Let me just turn this way. In pole position is Ollie Henley, in front of Paul Greatrix. Oh, sorry. Second row is Nathan Burnswood in front of Paul Cramph. Serenity Morrill and Brian Dell is row 3. Dan Terry and Turbo Tondi is row 4. And rounding out our top 10 is Fabian Poini and Fabio Sacanzi. And it's Daly, Wells, Zambrano, Hutch, Ionarescu, Rayner, New Guy Cons, Old Guy Minink, Jesper Eriksson, Scott Walker, Jack Harvey, Andy Forbes, Brian Cox, Jonas Niergård, Hughes, McVie, Cubby, Wildnitz, Wundhofer, Tweedy, Meadows, Demoink, Yatke, Strom, Chatterjee, Jones, Duke, Werner, Hernandez, and Griffold. Those are the people who will be starting on track. I ran out of breath twice during that one. People who will not be starting, actually probably will actually, come to think of it. Andrew Hearn, Aspinall, Sanchez, and Rodelli. Rodelli will be starting in the grid, and Hearn and Sanchez will be from the pits, and I'm not sure about Aspinall.
Perhaps... I think he must not have set a lap time, a valid lap time, and it's just been put back with these guys because of that.
30 seconds.
That would be my assumption.
It's probably not an unreasonable assumption.
So we're going to throw in the next prediction. I went with a simple idea. Will Henley win again? Is the question.
That's a dull
with
one.
The possible answers: yes, of course,
10 seconds.
Or no, he gonna die.
Interesting. What if he doesn't die, but doesn't?
Also, you might want to hit your insert button there quickly.
You're absolutely right.
Times. Lovely.
One of the wonders of being a broadcaster is that you have to make sure you have 8 windows open at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And annoyingly, the the type of UI that you want open most when you're broadcasting is the one that isn't the most useful when you're racing, and so you're very unlikely to have it set by default.
Yes.
You always need to reset that, annoyingly.
Hey, I'm an optimist. I'm probably getting a new monitor within the next 2 months, so I have 2 of them.
Lovely.
Yeah. Bit of a hassle casting with only 1 monitor. Now we're gonna have two 30-minute races. Very dry, very safe. And we can also answer the question of where will pitted guys start from? It's Hugo Sanchez. And here's Andrew Hearn. So they're not gonna be lucky.
Yeah, they're both got pretty unlucky. Andrew Hearn slightly less unlucky, but still not the way you wanna go. You're gonna be half a lap down by the time you actually get to racing speeds,
easily.
unfortunately. And that's why you don't want to get yourself too many BWP points.
Or as I like to call them, bad boy points.
Bad boy points.
Ooh. Sorry, I'm a bit tired today, actually. I am currently sipping on a nice can of Pink Monster as we see Eric Strum mowing a lawn.
That's probably not efficient for tire warming.
Probably not. But I'm not gonna judge.
I'm gonna go see if I can find any good team names to shout out.
Yeah, go for it.
G3, I guess that's a G2 reference. That's all right. Okay. Well, Chris Meadows, Team Ultramarine, in his Warhammer 40k Ultramarine livery, which is good.
Oh, that's what it is. Let me just find it again.
Brendan McVeigh's team is New World Sim Racing, shouting out the America's crew.
Let's see if we can quickly before we go on. Or no, hang on. Something unusual has occurred on my display. Let's see if we can find that. Number 163. Also, why are people voting on the MoveBot?
Yeah, I see that.
Okay,
161 is that?
Yeah,
Just
Ridelli is starting from the pits, but he has the lucky pits.
Oh,
That would make a lot of sense.
must have forgotten to press drive.
Anyway,
Mistake to make here.
we're lining up, and I will be looking at the front, and I think you should be looking at like P10 perhaps, Gareth?
Will do.
Because I cannot catch 44 cars crashing. Even though I'd like to. And there was probably going to be a lot of people speeding here, actually.
Remember,
oh, right, we had to go around the...
other split.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that for some reason. It's the only track where the start line is not on the start line.
Yeah.
Or more accurately, the start line is not at the finish line.
Yeah. A lot of people making some good starts here, not sure why. People not quite lining up well.
Aye. Go, come on. Any second now. Green light, here we go. And Lee goes out ahead. We have a line. And no one dies through Rouge or Redilon.
Oh, there's a few taps around the back. It's a little bit messy, but not too many people have died. There's been one small incident at the back, sent off a couple of drivers.
Can we get a name? Or a number?
I didn't see who specifically made it happen. There's quite
126 is off track.
Yeah, quite a few guys down there. 64, 161, 136, and 126 are all fallen off at the back. Luak, Turner, Fernandez.
And if you look at the track map, the pit starters are just about ready to leave the pits. Just to show how big trouble that is. Alpha lap.
Absolutely.
But we got a
Then
good.
he stayed out in front with Paul Gratix just behind him. Nathan Burnswood pulling out third. So we have a nice little run of basically the cars that are really good at Spa here at the front with the Ferraris and the Lamborghini for Moral.
6 Ferraris in top 10. It's like Nürburgring all over again.
Absolutely, a couple of these guys well used to that car. I've been driving them in every season I've seen them in. And then Dan Terry in the Aston is the first non-Ferrari car.
I mean, I think a Lambo is a non-Ferrari car.
True.
Just putting that out there. Okay.
Non-Italian car there.
Raytrix is looking on the inside and the outside. And the backside too, actually.
Not a great place to get past there, so definitely not going to do it. But keeping close into the last corner as we see some Ferraris at the back battling. That's Dahl and Piogni having a little fight there, pushing themselves a little bit closer to Dan Terry. So this is going to be where we can start to see a bit of movement coming through as Car 94 is off in the background, because all of these guys are now going to be looking for the best exit possible out of La Source.
We have some, 94 has crashed in Blanchimont. We'll get to that in a second. We just have to put on the gamer camera. I just love that camera. If I could change back from it, I'd love it even more. Now let's look at some casualties.
None of these guys super close to each other, so just going to hold station for now, although Dahl and Piogni is still fighting. Actually, that's Dahl getting past Serenity there.
Oh, yeah, I just had to look at Eric Strum for a second, because he was the one who crashed. But actually, we got more crashes. 70, now he took a pit stop.
Yeah, and 789 and 136 have both died going up Radian.
We'll catch that on today in a second. Yeah, Chris Meadows and Michael Luker are in the pits. Go up front again. Everything is as normal. Oini is up the backside of Morel.
Yep, looking for it, but not going to manage to get anything there. Going to have to settle down into the back of Campos, and the next real opportunity is going to be going into the chicane. He's had a good run on her so far, but falling back a little bit before Stavolo, he's going to have to make that ground up, and he also has Dan Terry looking down his back as well.
We're just going to go for the seasickness camera again. What I've called it.
Serenity getting a decent run on Dahl ahead of her as well. So all these guys very close here as the front four start to break out. Paul Cramp.
Whoa! That was a dive in health. Yeah, Pointy completely missing everything.
Yep, he's got a.
And Moral being so scared that she actually
lose.
She lost position. I think it was just like, holy shit.
Yeah, she lost a position there to Dan Terry, and now.
And here comes
Washi made a big mistake there,
yeah.
trying to go.
No, and he makes another mistake
on the position.
And they collect the end of Rainer. Oh no.
Trying to make a position there and just break too late, going right into the apex, taking out a few of them.
I mean, he didn't even go into the apex, he just went into the wall. And yeah, that's probably gonna throw a penalty of its off.
And now Pionnet is very close to Morrow. Not gonna make the dive there, being careful.
I mean, he completely missed the break into the chicane. On my display, Dan Terry has
He has.
mysterious.
He's fallen back to 14th, so he's definitely made a mistake somewhere.
Yeah, because
how do he didn't see?
He just completed his bit. This happens a lot. We got more. That's a bit. A top guy has made a Spinala. Trying to get some confirmation on who it is.
Looks like Dan lost it up Eau Rouge, possibly.
Oh, there goes
Great Tricks.
Greatrix.
Him ahead of Moral there at the front.
All Greatrix went up road and has lost 10 positions.
Wide at 2 on there, yeah.
And this is great news for Ollie Henley, who also has the fastest lap of the race with a 2:19.0 right now.
Yeah, pulling away from Burnswood and Cranth, who are the next two cars, reasonably close together, before you get a big gap down to Brian Dahl, and then this big group of cars that we've been watching, which used to include Dan Terry before he threw himself down the order.
So Moral, despite almost being run off a lap earlier, is back in 5th. And no, we somehow didn't see him get wiped out. I don't know. Again, this happens surprisingly often when we stream. 44 people and we just missed some.
Chris Meadows there coming out of the pits, so he's one of the guys who has been wrecked by Radian, most likely.
Indeed. Also, apparently really, Robbie, did the crash happen right before us and we didn't see it? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
There's a lot you're looking at when you're broadcasting, so it's absolutely not.
I mean, it's still. Pit windows open. Huh. Well, the more you know. But yeah, as I said earlier, we're looking at like 8 windows at the same time, so if a car is parked outside, we're just not going to see it.
Of course we saw him. No, I take that back. We are actually idiots, because he was one of the people who got wiped out by the Lexus.
Oh, that makes more sense. Because I kept looking at everyone. I looked at it at like Adam Reinu, who was taken out, and Warhol and everything. Now it makes more sense.
That is funny. As Paul Crampf keeping a good run up with Burnswood at the front. Possibly later on we're going to see some action there.
Yep,
the pack windows behind them is where the real tightness is. Paul Greatrix trying to work his way up through the pack, is getting close to a couple of these cars up here. Eric Hodge and Nathan Wells putting a Honda reasonably far up there. It's good to see that since the new BOP, the Honda has been getting a decent amount of love and has been doing quite well in the hands of multiple drivers in this series.
Tier 4 championship contender Jack Harvey is alive and stable. As we're just seeing Manning going a bit off-road.
And Dan Terry right behind, trying to make up for lost ground.
Oh, and here we go again. Moral missing the turn a bit, and Barney is on her.
Looking for a bit of an inside run into this first corner, but not going to be able to get it. As you say, people going very tight into this corner, so not much room on the inside to go through there. And looking for that has perhaps put him under a little bit of pressure, because he's not going to get as good an exit out of La Source as he could have. And now the Audi of Sekansi is right on his back.
Sekansi has just been sitting there and waiting.
Yeah, he seems like he did quite a safety lift though through Eau Rouge as car 52. That's Paul Greatrix has died along with car 86 in Eau Rouge, so those two are both out of it.
Oh, Eric Hodge is out. I was actually about to mention him. This puts Jason Daly and Jack Harvey in top 10. Okay, and Tyro Tondi has gotten a 15-second penalty for his thing.
Yep,
I don't know how to explain it else.
It's fair enough.
Elsewhere in the grid, Chatterjee, P29.
And we haven't quite got past a whole lap yet without seeing someone bin it up Radian.
Somehow not.
Chatterjee running down Zambrano in the Mercedes here.
In favorite, Yatke has a 10-second penalty or something. History will find out. Will tell us what.
He turned in on someone who was overtaking him into the source without realizing he was there and spun him round.
That is life.
That was car 483 that he did that to, unfortunately. A lot of drivers in the pits already.
Yeah, we'll see
Chris Meadows coming out of the pits for, I believe, the second time this race.
Yeah, that's just Chris stuff.
He had to be in the pits early for damage, I assume. We've got quite a few more people in the pits, but good to see. I'm looking through them all, and these are actually people pitting. We haven't had too many people just get wrecked and leave so far.
But then Terry is pitting. We'll need that. He's still very much looking at Pointy and Morrell because that is where the action is.
Oh, and Erwin Schultz side by side as well. Fighting there, not sure of who, Zambrano, I think.
Oh, I think that wasn't Scansi, was it? Okay, let's see if we can find someone unusual. Adam Moreno is P13 despite being hit earlier. Scott Walker
he's
is
following up Ericsson and Manink in a nice little free car pack here. Ahead of them is another close little pack as well going on.
Yeah, a bundle of Lexi. Or just a Lexus in this case, but the plural of Lexus is Lexi. Trust us. We're scientists, you know.
Oh, and it's actually a back marking I found just in front of those guys. I didn't notice.
Yeah, speaking of which, Morrell is about to take on Chris Meadows or Eric Strom in the blue car, but with Pointy right behind her. Will this cause some drama? We'll see in a second. No, it won't, because Pointy is pitting.
Yep, quite a few people diving into the pits now. They've got a couple laps left, and
Just saw someone behind him as well. Wells, Ramp, Dahl is already in the pits. Ericsson, Daly, Walker. Jatke, Turbo Tundi, Griffel. Sorry, Luca, Great Six for Daly. But yeah, that should do it.
Absolute ton of people pinning now as we've just got past the halfway mark.
We have quite not. There are still 30 seconds left.
Yep, and Henley still in the lead, followed by Nathan Burnswood. Serenity Morrell now taking up third position on track. Menink right behind Jack Harvey, fighting for fifth position.
Dell gonna be the first person to leave the pits with a cleared mandatory pit stop.
We are at the halfway mark. Keep pushing.
We got a nice spread here, but we can probably expect Ollie to stay out because he has basically a third of the track just cleared ahead of him.
Absolutely, you've got enough time to do a couple more laps before they're going to have to come in.
Unusually enough, Benjamin Cons, Derek Cox, the two new guys, are next to each other. Both joined ACCSS earlier this week, or last week.
Yep, Cox and the big Bentley chasing down that little Aston.
Oh, no, man,
Nice,
I think
interesting
I'll say
liveries
the
on
little
both these
Aston.
two. Everything's little compared to the Bentley as they come through Stavelo.
That is true.
Bentley's going to have a hard time overtaking on the track because the major overtaking zones are all at the end of these big, long, aero-limited speed sections where the Bentley really falls down on.
It is a bit boat-shaped, to be honest. As Minnick is pitting, apparently. We are actually gonna cut down here because... There we go. Arnie is yet again behind someone. This time Nathan Wills. They aren't actually racing for position, they're more racing for track position. And probably bragging rights.
Yeah, absolutely. Overall position is still a position, so a lot of these guys will still be pushing it to try and make that happen.
But it is not points, that's important to mention. Top 15 in each of the splits get points.
Right on the back of Wells now as they both pass a back marker Porsche.
See if
Coming
something
down
happens.
through the fast wiggly bits at the end of sector 3. Gonna see Piome keeping strong with the Honda here. Both pretty fast cars on that straight, so we're gonna have to see if he can make a dive here. It looks like he's going to. He's getting the overspeed, moving to the inside really early.
But he
Gonna
holds
lose
it.
a little bit of possible speed there. The Honda turns in.
Yeah. And
With
Wills,
lots of room to spare, and both of them will have to come out here. A little bit of a wheel by the Ferrari on the exit there, so he's not going to get a good run down to the source. Going to need a real good run out of the source to make any headway on this lap. Ooh. You carried a lot of speed through there. Probably not what you want to do there. You really want to get the speed out of the source rather than carrying a lot of speed through it.
they just go past a bunch of people in the pits. And I have just stepped out on a wooden splinter. That hurt. Ow. Anyway.
Ton of our cars coming in now. Ollie Henley doing the typical leader strategy of staying right out until the last possible opportunity. But he's going to have to pit next time around.
We got Burnswood, Harvey, Morrill, Sekansian. No Harvey.
Cons is coming in, so we just have Tweedy, Hearn, and Sanchez coming around who have the possibility to
Tweedy
pit,
with
and then it will be them, Harvey, and Henley who have not, out of anyone who doesn't.
Oh, and Jason Daly disqualified for reversing in the pit box. Well, reversing in the pits.
Oh, was that an in-game disqualification as well?
Ouch.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm no expert, but don't do that.
I haven't seen, that's one I haven't seen before, to be fair.
I am like, usually you can at least reverse like a few meters before it gets angry at you.
Yeah, that must have been a pretty painful miss coming in there. That's an unfortunate one.
Alright, we're just gonna stick with Hilly here on his way to what will be the pit stop now.
Yep. He, Harvey, Tweedy, and Sanchez, the last four to pit, they're going to have to pit on this lap or take a hefty penalty.
Jason, don't drink beer now. There's a second race. Don't drink and drive. That's a crime. Hey, you're not a criminal, aren't you? Are you? Ah, whatever.
Depending what country he is, he might be able to sneak under the limit.
Yeah, I suppose.
Depends what beer he's drinking as well, you know. If you're in certain countries in the world, what they call beer is Not as alcoholic as what we call beer.
And that is true.
Unfortunately.
There we go. Henley is in. Did you see the follow-ups here? As Jack Harvey almost loses it.
Burnswood coming through Lecombe right now, so I know the pit lane's long, but it's not quite that long. It's number 2. That's Menick. Did Menick die at the? I think Menick died at Eau Rouge. I saw a yellow there for 2, and then he teleported to the pit lane. So that's Menick probably out of here now. Very unfortunate for him because he was doing reasonably well.
Just looking at some numbers here. Interestingly enough, and I've never noticed this about ACC, a disqualified guy is shown as a black dot on the display.
Yes.
The more we know.
So Tweedy in now, and Sanchez just coming through the exit of Stabilo.
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, no, Sanchez should make it.
Yeah.
And we see Ollie has a great pit box.
Oh, lovely pit box, yeah. That's what we call the Gareth end of the pits, where you get the lucky runs.
Technobug. It's measured on where you enter the pit, not where you exit it. You just have to cross the line before the timer runs out. Like Sanchez is doing now. That's valid.
Yep.
Trust me, I have been in that issue before. Just have to cross the entry line.
The pit window is closing now.
Yep. Everyone is in the pits, so they should be good.
Yeah, and but except Henley, because he's out of the pits. And no, Technobug, that's not happening. If you don't do your mandatory pit stop, you simply just get a big old fat. What's called? I think you get like a lapse penalty. I think.
Yeah, you get a penalty. It's dependent on the size of the pit, so it'll obviously be larger on Spa than it will on other tracks. I don't know what exactly that would be. I know the drive-through on Spa, if you get a drive-through and aren't able to finish the race, that's counted as an 80-second penalty onto your finishing time. Is all.
Pointy goes past Wills.
Side by side. Nice.
That was about time, because Pointy has been wanting to overtake someone for, I think, the past 20 minutes.
Making it 4 Ferraris at the front again, keeping that nice Italian domination.
It truly is a Ferrari.
Crampf and Morrill just a little bit further down. A lot of Bentleys as well coming up, getting the consistency over the lap times. Didn't have that strong a showing in qualifying that car, but it is an incredibly stable, incredibly nice car to drive around here over long periods. So not surprising to see a lot of them getting up a little bit further. We have another backmarker dying in Radian.
That is unfortunately not unusual. We also have Dan Terry coming up, Howard. With him for a second. Back on with Pointy.
Yep, Dan Terry in 10th, just in front of Adam Rayner. 2 fan favourites there. Everyone wanting to see them do well. Adam, second of the Bentleys right now. And the best favorites. Bentley in amateur split.
They're more like our favorites.
Here we go. We've got some Go Adams in the chat.
Yeah.
And the Randy Panda. Fantastic Twitch handle, mate.
That's a great handle. Hey, subscription. Thank you for subscribing.
Nice.
You're a badass now.
The Randy Panda is now officially Lars' favourite person, as Dan Terry going really deep into the chicane.
Yeah. They're actually just looking at Morrill now because she is chasing Sikansi for the final podium.
Nice.
The podium of T4, and of course he's an Adam. All great people are named Adam. They're just putting that out there.
Fair enough.
We're just gonna go back here. Scott Walker is on the tail of Jack Harvey.
Harvey, yep.
In a
But Walker
heated battle
just
for
following Jack Harvey,
P12.
Dan Terry just following Thorpe. Both of them around Oruge and Radian as we speak. Laycom going to be the opportunity if they can hold it close, but Walker in that Mercedes is witnessing that aero limit, which struggles to get you down that straight in a good time.
Yeah, no, he'll be fine. But back up here to someone. Harry is still looking at someone after all.
Yep, still chasing down Thorpe. A little bit further back, McVeigh and Kobe look like they're having a nice little battle.
Yeah, let's go find him actually.
Super close inside this group of 4 cars that we have
We
here.
agreed his name was Kobe, I think.
Kobe?
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have these nice fancy extra letters in English, so I will always take someone else's word on those.
Yeah. We spent a lot of time discussing that name at some point. As we are, after all, in the dying minutes of the race, and everything seems to have settled down somewhat.
McVeigh coming through, driving the Porsche, one that people don't normally think of for straight line speed, but when you get to the top speed and it becomes aero limited, it's not actually that bad. And one of the few cars earlier on that has less chug than it is the Aston Martin, which Kobe is in.
But I mean, the Porsche should have some kind of slipstream now.
Yeah, that Bentley in front of them is going to be punching a big hole in the air for them both to follow. Get a slight effect like the DRS train in Formula 1, where you have multiple people all in those slipstreams. They sort of cancel each other out a little bit, but with those big Aston brakes, he's going for a bit of a dive there.
Oh,
just sticks it on the inside.
Too deep.
Doesn't look like he cut it, but the Bentley, getting a bit over eager to get away from there, has managed to erect it for himself and fall down both positions.
That could be some aero push, I think, actually.
Could be. The Porsche looking for a really wide line. Bentley's going to dive in the middle of him, though, which puts him off getting quite the nicest line as he could, but he's going to get a decent one. Bentley going in tight. Tight is not the line you want to take through the source, and he's going to have to sit back behind the rest of them. But that might have just put McVeigh off his line just enough that he might not be able to chase Kobe, although Kobe hits that curb on the inside big, goes up on 2 wheels there. Could slightly slow him down, but it looks like they're about similar pace. And with those incredibly strong Aston brakes, I doubt that anything is going to be able to be done here. Nice strong group of cars here, though, as we come towards the last lap. And he still has a way to go around, so the next lap will probably be the last lap.
Ooh, Kobe makes a slight entry mistake.
Ooh.
And they can't capitalize on it. Wonderfer is still right behind, though, so he shouldn't relax too much.
Yep, and he's going to want to take that position back, although looking like he didn't look like he was too bad on the straights for a Bentley, but he's looking like he's having a bit of trouble here, so he might have trimmed his wing down a lot in order to try and make up for the Bentley's weakness on the straights, which is making it harder for him to run through the second sector.
Ooh,
big slide there from McVeigh, and that's going to put him under pressure from the Bentley. Not really able to dive into Stavlo, though, unfortunately. That was a safe place for McVeigh to have made that mistake, because now he's going to come through onto the back straight as the leader is on the final lap. So these guys are all going to have one more opportunity to run around and try and make a final position.
For DT incident. Do you have anything on that?
What incident, sorry?
Apparently he did some kind of incident and he lost some positions.
Oh,
which puts Adam Rayner in P9.
Yeah, where is... Thorpe is number 68.
Yep.
There's nothing on the 68 and 242, actually. It's still being looked at by the...
oh dear.
Stewards, so I'm not going to be able to tell exactly what happened.
They
but Dan
had a
Terry
touch.
coming together with Thorpe as...
Cobain misses the chicane. Cobain misses the hairpin.
Yeah, Cobain not making a good run there out of La Source.
Absolutely
throws away that position.
McVeigh is up now, yeah.
Yeah,
We're in
McVeigh
the last lap, and
leading.
I'm actually gonna go ahead and look away because just need to make sure we actually don't miss the end of the race. As Jack Harvey goes past Adam Rayner.
Kobe is right on the back of McVeigh back here and has actually dived past him into Lacombe. Oh,
Wow.
and Dan Terry, it looks like, has committed another murder as well.
Whoa.
Taps into the back of Cox and throws
Now I
him
can't
off.
find
You can
him.
see him there in the wall.
Ah, Dan.
And now the Porsche of McVeigh is being chased bound by Grundhofer still.
Everything just happens on the last lap. And it's pretty important because Henley's about to cross the finish line, and I can't even look at him because we're busy.
Yep. Henley.
There we go. Orb and someone.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a close one
One
as well.
more.
Thorpe.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead to Henley because he's about to win his 4th race out of 5 possible. That is Paul Gradrich behind him. Just safely ignore him.
Yep.
G and G. Okay, hit elsewhere in track. Now I'm just clicking buttons to see if I can find someone.
Absolutely, there are a few people that are reasonably close. Walker obviously following Thorpe, and then we have that pack that we were looking at before. Brandon McVeigh still following around Kobe. Grundhofer getting a little bit pushed by Ericsson now.
There we go, yeah. Time for a last second dive, I think.
Yeah, very close, so it's definitely going to be a possibility. The Lamborghini very good in these sort of situations, but it looks like he left it a little bit more than the Bentley had to through Blanchimont. Dan Terry actually making a mistake there as well, getting very much closed up on by these other cars, but they're going to finish in the order that they are right now.
That was fun.
Yeah, nice little last lap. Exciting.
Lots of drama. Just like I like it. Okay.
And Terry getting himself in multiple incidents at the end there.
Gareth, would you reset the move bot so we can vote for driver of the day? I don't know if you can do it, actually. Can I?
I have no idea if I can do that. But if people want to vote for driver of the day, I can count them manually. It's no big issue.
Okay, I think it's alright. We're gonna cut to an intermission, and we'll be back in 2 minutes. There we go. Sorry, I overran it. Gareth, would you pick up your camera again at some point?
There we go.
There we go. So I assume you kept track of who actually won, or who's driver of the day.
Apologies. We actually didn't have 2 votes for any one person.
It's a tie. That's what I'm writing there. It's a tie.
We had a singular vote for Henley. for Burnswood, for Wells, for Rayner, and then 2 people voted for people underneath P10, which doesn't get counted technically.
That's true. It's actually just, Oh well. Well, we had fun that race. Very stressful. As we can now see in the results, we barely had time to talk about the 6 best drivers. Simply because everyone was busy killing each other.
Yeah, we barely had a lap where people managed to get through a Rouge and Radian without throwing it away, unfortunately.
And we can't catch it because there's 44 people just going sideways everywhere. But still, Ollie just ran off as expected. Bit more excitement on the back. Hearing some knocking noises, I think that's a game.
Yeah,
That's the fireworks in the game reason. There we go.
The Ferrari still managed to end quite reasonably high up overall.
It was a Ferrari race again.
Yeah.
I'm kind of gonna hope they're gonna balance the game a bit more for 1.7 whenever that comes out.
But I think we've got a lot of just strong Ferrari drivers in this grid as well.
We do, but I mean,
not even all of these top drivers are in the Evo.
Just
Nathan Burnswood is driving the old Ferrari.
Alright. Let's see. Okay. Renesco got an 80-second penalty for not serving a drive-through. Chris Meadows says that if he crashes on before a Rouge again, he's done with the game. And now we're just seeing if we can find some drama in the chat. We have live streaming, of course, so...
Yep, they looked at a few of those races, a few of those incidents near the end. Dan Terry looks like hasn't been confirmed yet, but he could be picking up a few post-race penalties for his last lap antics.
Oh, we're starting a league for mid-pack and rookie drivers. I'm gonna kill him. Apparently.
Absolutely. Not too many incidents overall, though, compared to a lot of our races.
Oh,
so it was a reasonably clean race overall. Although there was a high ratio of incidents to penalties. So there weren't many incidents, but the incidents that were there, a high amount of them got penalized.
Especially the very beautiful Sanderachi wreck in the source. Into the wall and then into everyone else. Very beautiful. And but I think we had 2 incidents on that one, I think. Disturbingly clean.
One of them did involve a few cars at the start, but yeah, there wasn't a huge amount.
But that will not do. So, 30 seconds until the next formation lap. I think it's a good time for some viewer questions, if viewers actually has any. Or if you're so smart you don't have questions.
I should start another prediction as well.
Good. And let's make it a new one. How many will die on lap 1? No, that's 2. We need an over-under. What are you thinking, Gareth? If you are thinking. Yeah, you definitely are thinking.
Thinking is definitely happening.
Over under 3.5 crashes on that one. But how do we count a crash? I don't know. That was the wrong one. There we go.
So Ferrari seems to be dominating Pro.
Yes.
But will a Ferrari win AM?
That is a great question.
So they had 2 non-Ferraris on their podium last time, so it's definitely possible. I'll put my camera back in the dungeon now that it's not.
Well, it have to come out again. Oh, go on. Sorry. It will have to come out again in 30 minutes.
Starting our second race of the Assetto Corsa Competizione SimSeries Silver Split, the 3rd race out of 5 for this season 5.
I thought it was season 4.
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, who's counting, you know? Who's counting?
Definitely not me, I can tell you that.
Okay, there's probably people counting, but I'm not one of them. I'm just trying to find stream stats. There we go. Twitch stats. 58 viewers who are not, for some reason, watching or participating in the iRacing Daytona 24. That's nice. I mean, I certainly wouldn't mind taking part in the Daytona 24, but that would require effort. A lot of effort.
Yep.
Is the baller who has put 1K on a Ferrari not winning AM. Show yourself.
Yeah, let's go. It's brave. It's brave.
That's beyond brave.
Daytona 24 starting to go a little bit dark, so I can see on my other screen. Jimmy in 7th. Nando up to 3rd. Nando and Rubens.
The WTF1 car, right?
Yep. And then Max is, I believe, in 2nd. Actually, I'm very safe to say Max is in 2nd because I'm not sure which team Redline car he's in, but they're both in 2nd in different categories. So
Well, that works.
either way, I'm correct on him being 2nd. So
Actually, better than that. You're technically correct.
there's your Daytona side reporting coming in.
Indeed.
Real Daytona, obviously, next week is gonna be hype.
Yep.
Stacked lineup this year. And unfortunately, we don't have Daytona as a track, even in AC for SGP. So otherwise, I'm sure we would be running Daytona events all over the place.
Indeed. Although I don't like the road course.
Race room getting added is going to be one of the next 2 games added to SGP. That does have Daytona, so you could
That might have a lot of interesting things too.
Yeah. Very excited to see what we're going to be able to put on in that game. Obviously going to have to stick a lot to some of the starter pack stuff, it being a free-to-play game. But
yeah.
I'm sure for special events, we can start doing a few more interesting things every now and again.
We'll see when we get there.
Yeah, which will happen, as always, soon, TM.
Indeed.
So we did have an incident at Eau Rouge last time with 4 or 5 cars getting taken out at the bottom of that hill. So let's hope that we can get a smarter looking position this time as we're going down
that you guys gonna
towards the start line. That Ferrari there starting very far back. I think that's Paul Krampf starting very far back from his location.
P5 this time.
Actually, it turns out Burnswood was starting too far forward because he's got a drive-through
don't
immediately
do that.
for being out of his pit boxes. He runs up the hill just ahead of Serenity.
But
Front of the field, nice
top
and
10
clean.
comes by. Top 10 has survived T1. That's a good start.
Oh no, it took a while, but there have been deaths, it looks like.
Yeah, let's see if we can find them.
A few people falling down.
Do you have numbers? No, we have dead car. We have 2 dead cars, at least.
Yeah, we have 888 and 136 that have immediately dived back to the pits.
I think I saw
Right now, but
Chris
that's
Meadows die too.
Torsten and Michael Lueck have both
Oh,
the
there we
two
go.
who've been fully wrecked. So
A fan
unfortunately, I know
favorite?
we got some Torsten fans in the chat.
Well, I don't have a pun for this, actually.
Yeah. Also, a good point being thrown out in the chat by Madam's Mimsmam is that whoever put those 1,000 points on something other than a Ferrari winning AM, it just got a lot more likely that you're going to be correct, because the leading Ferrari in AMS has a drive-through penalty, which
And
the
it
game
makes-
reckons will cost him about 80 seconds.
Thank you, Pavel, for that pun. His car is Torst. There we go. Ollie Henley makes it past the... No, he's about to make it past. You know what? He's on the track. We're watching Fabian Poigny.
Yeah, Pugmay not too far up compared to where he could have started. Dan Terry making some nice moves up the field early on. Dole and Bawashi both falling down. Piodne looks like he was getting a little bit loose there, had to lift a little bit coming through Blanchimont, which is interesting in the Ferrari. The Ferrari is normally very stable through there. Not going to be able to dive the incredible Aston brakes. And there are a few cars further back making a little bit of a play. Going too wide, but nothing too
Hans
much
hitting
happening.
someone. No. Pioneer Rescue hitting
Cons and
Hans.
Menick side by side. Oh, and there's some chaos further back. You can just see in the back of your screen there a lot of
I
cars
would
getting
like to be able
side by
to see
side
it, but
through
I
the
have trouble
chicane.
seeing... Ooh, free wide.
And
Is that
McVeigh
Meadows?
has been spun around.
I think that's Meadows. Yeah, he's not supposed to be there. Chatterjee is in the pits, and that was Demonic.
Yeah, Pink Aston in the wall. There's a lot of chaos going around at the back of this pack. Not clean at all. As I'm going to take a look further back at Piogne up the field, because he's diving Dan Terry.
You know what?
Absolutely just made that move.
He just did, and we just missed it on camera.
Fine, it was a clean move. It was a clean move. It was
Very unusual
easy.
for this race, I think.
Very interesting to see that Burnswood hasn't taken his drive through either. Normally, if you get a drive through early in the race like this, it's interesting whether you want to take it immediately or not, because normally you'd want to take it immediately because that throws you out of the pack and means you can drive on your own and just set good laps. Some drivers prefer to be following other drivers, so he might just be one of those. He might also be worried that there could be chaos at the back of the field. There wasn't a huge amount of chaos, so he
there we
probably
go.
would come out. Oh,
Charlie has
I
just
saw
gone
that on the
sideways.
replay. That was a big slide.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't hit the wall, but he lost a lot of positions there.
Yeah, that's not what you want to be doing at all.
And here we see Menning slipping and sliding as Jack Harvey is poised to go past.
Yeah, that did not look stable at all.
Scott Walker has gone to the pits. We are probably seeing some very dead people. Mark Turner. Man, that's a lot of people. Let's go back up front again.
Yeah, so Dan Terry is leading a bit of a train in 6th position. Burnswood is being chased pretty hard by Morrill. So they're coming through the chicane, nice and tight. This could this little pack behind Dan Terry could become very interesting very soon, because
Indeed.
we're going to see them all follow each other through La Source and down to the best overtaking zone in the track. No incidents at the source so far. A lot of them taking a nice tight line.
We're just gonna put on the gamer camera.
Yeah, looking back on from the tail of Paul Cramp with the chasing pack behind him. Brian Dahl in the orange Ferrari. A lot of people cutting as much as they're allowed to cut, and a few people a little bit more on the exit of Radian.
Well, if the game doesn't complain, it's legit.
Absolutely. If they cut enough, they'll get a drive-through, so we don't need to worry about it. Nothing quite happening at La Source just yet. A few people getting a lot closer, though. Wells in that Honda getting right onto the back of JD's Mercedes, and now they're going to have to run through the second sector together. Nathan Burnswood still running with that drive-through, catching up to Paul Gratis.
I don't think that's gonna matter all that much. Because he's on what? One more lap and then he has to serve it.
Yeah, he has 3 laps that he can do. So I think if he doesn't go in this time, he has one more chance. Like, he has to come in now. Daly now is getting right up onto the back of Brian Dahl. These 4 or even 5 just ebbing and flowing as Daniel Terry has managed to pull away from the front of this train.
Which means there's no one for him to hit.
Yep, it's a good position for anyone around. Piogne is the next guy who should be worried.
Well, a little bit of worry is very healthy.
Yep, don't want to be too confident as this Honda could get a run up on the Mercedes here, has a better straight line speed, but doesn't seem as confident through Blanchimont there. This is the thing that's been taking a lot of people out. Mercedes getting a nice, good braking point on there. But the Audi managed to get very close to the Honda because the Honda just couldn't run it full through Blanchimont, as McLaren getting a little bit of a tap behind, but nothing major.
And Chris Meadows is in the chat.
Looking back at the chicane, you can see a couple of Bentleys going side by side. Lots of action going through the chicane, people missing it.
Hey,
That was
so
Eric
Tweedy's
Strom
alive.
didn't manage to do it. Chris cannot make that first turn safely, unfortunately.
No, that's just how the track works.
Yeah, yeah.
I wish we had more cameras because I would just love to catch all these battles and drama.
Yeah, lots of
Just
disqualification for Burnswood.
So he didn't take it. He did not take his pit.
He did not take his drive-through. Oh.
G and
that's
G.
silly. I wonder if he's racing in VR or something and didn't see it come up, because that's a big mistake. That's a lot more than the 80 seconds that the game records you lose for taking a drive-through. That's a big one. But it does mean that Serenity Moral is now leading AM.
Yeah,
Fabien Piogne is trying to ruin the predictions of all those who thought that a Ferrari wouldn't win AM. But Scansi.
And Goldenitz with no points had a spin. So he's probably not getting points either this time. And sorry, a Corona is sneezing. Okay. Let's go look at the pack here. Why is Ollie and... Oh no, it's happened again, I think.
Is he DC'd?
Yes, I think actually Ollie Henley's game has crashed again.
I just noticed him disappear from my list, so it's looking like that was probably what happened.
This has happened before.
It's happened in qualifying as well, actually, just after he set his first lap. I noticed him disappear from the scoring boards, but he came back. So big, unfortunate there. Paul Gratix takes over the lead. Don't believe he had a win to his name, if I remember right.
No, I think the other winner was Nathan Wills.
So
Poiney is about to take Moral.
Oh yes, wrong. Good battle coming around. Going down side by side into Eau Rouge. Got to be brave to pull this through there, because you're going to have to take a much tighter line than usual. Both of these guys will have had to have lifted. So Serenity is now right behind Fabien, coming down that straight, but really close and right in the toe. So she's going to be able to look for a move. Fabien driving really defensively over to right-hand side. Serenity pulls out onto the wider line. It's going to have to try and take more speed through Lecombe, but it's not a good corner to take more speed through.
She might be able to slingshot him. I say that very optimistically, but okay, never mind.
Yeah. Not a great corner to have to go around the outside of, so she's now had a slightly awkward line through there and has been slowed down going into Bruxelles. Going to have to try and make a comeback to there, because Dan Terry is now coming up behind her, which, if we have any evidence from the last race, is a terrifying thing to have happen.
Yep. Actually, we're going to go with Brian Dell here, because he is looking at Paul Cramp, and this is for third place in the Tier 3 split.
Absolutely, there's quite a lot of battles going down here, all the way back to Zambrano, who's being chased down by Harvey. And then there's a big gap further down to
Hughes
any
and
more
Rodelli
people.
having penalties, because it was actually pretty sad because Rodelli had actually made up a lot of ground from the first crash. And let's hang on. Here's something I need you to investigate for me.
Yeah.
Car number 126, Luis Fernandez, 25 seconds of penalty.
5 seconds.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So he actually should have more than 20. Oh, yeah, 25 seconds, yeah. So he rear-ended car 136, causing a multiple car incident. That was part of the original incident. 136 is our friend Chris, I believe, right? So he murdered Chris before the first corner. And then much more recently, he tried to go too wide into the final left-hander up to the chicane. That's Blanchimont. And he squeezed 890 on the inside, causing contact and an accident.
Yeah, there is not room for a squeeze there, but race leader Paul Greatrix is now in the pits, which means Morrill is leading on track.
Rodelli has his 10 seconds for touching Kobe. And then you actually has it for touching 483. Who I vaguely recognize that number, but I can't remember off the top of my head who that is.
Yeah, we're a very intimate bunch in this league. We touch a lot.
There has been a reasonable amount of touching in this race.
Now, the first pitters are in. It's Greatrix, Daly, Hodge, Riffle, Nego. There's a lot of people who have already done pits, but got that.
There's a really close little bunch as well from Menek back. He's been absolutely caught up by the Lexus of Harvey, the Bentley of Adam Rayner, and the Aston of our new boy Benjamin Cons.
Yep.
These guys trying to catch down Zambrano, who's made some good positions, it seems. Zambrano starting from 13th up to 3rd.
Indeed.
Menek starting from 18th as well, and Harvey from 21st. So all of these guys, having avoided a lot of the chaos, are going strongly. Further back from them, Bruce Hughes is leading a couple of battles as well there. Actually, no, that second one was back marker, but him and Rodelli there, both with their 10-second penalties fighting. So this is for position, but not for a position, it seems, as he goes wide.
No,
right on the marbles there.
It sticks. Ish.
And that is going to slow him down for a few corners after losing that position as well, with those extra bits of rubber on his tires. So he's going to have to try nice and hard to manage to get a good exit.
Hey, the leaders are in traffic now.
Yep. Doing
Great
a reasonable job of making it through. Diving into the pits.
When he dives in, that's what I was trying to say.
Dan Terry diving in the background as well.
Dal diving in.
A lot of cars going through as we watch them through the chicane. Chicane, a place where a lot of the chaos in both of the races we've had so far here has happened. Oh, there's some deaths on the straight back.
Give me some numbers.
Past Blanchimont, 829. He's just got back onto track.
Heck is a tune. Tom Tweedy.
Yeah, Tom Tweedy was part of that. There's a couple of others as well who was going slow. Tom Tweedy back down in 33rd with a 10-second penalty, which comes from hitting car 177.
Yes.
Yeah, this instant tracker filling up a bit faster than the last race, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the second half of this can be a little bit cleaner.
And Ollie Henley, I mean, don't complain about your internet. You're going to the gold split next season.
Mark. Still a long way to go.
Yeah, unlucky Henley.
And now,
had the race under wraps.
Guys,
definitely getting promoted.
Get ready. This is gonna go bad. Dan is right behind
Pointy.
Pointy.
Out the pits. All right.
Why am I looking at them that much? You just Andrew Hearn is alive. Nope. Fancy, it's actually the battle of the mid-engine cars here. I was about to say they're both Audis, but I mean, Honda is not an Audi.
Not as far as I know, correct? Yeah.
No, I mean the Lambo is kind of an Audi, but
Yeah.
same engine.
Yeah. A lot of the same parts as Danteri and Pyongyi have now left the pit lane. Nothing happened, unfortunately. No fun incidents. He's rolling out behind Paul Gratix, which makes it a little hard to tell which is which, since they're both in those green Ferraris.
Rails pits. Go back up here and find someone who's about to kill themselves.
Field's starting to spread out a bit more as a load of our cars leave, but there are still a few cars who are close together. McVeigh trying to work his way from the back of the field.
Serenity Moral is taking a pit stop. Which means Sekanse is leading the race, so to say. At least for a moment.
Yeah. On track out ahead with Harvey and Zambrano just behind him. Adam Rayner up into 4th position before his pits.
Yeah, take some screenshots, because that's not gonna last.
Rodelli is now taking his 10-second penalty as well.
Yep.
So he's going to be in there for a while.
Let's see if Moral comes out and has Barney. This is why we have Headlight Cam.
Yeah, Grundhofer down there at the bottom. You can just see with his 10-second penalty, the latest person to get a 10-second penalty. And it was for rear-ending car number 27 and spinning them. 27 being Scott Walker, who is in 26th frame.
Ew. Okay, here she comes. Oh, that's close. But that was almost a penalty. She almost cut the pit line.
Yeah, but unfortunately, she's not going to be able to keep that place because obviously she has far less momentum, slotting in just between Gratix and Cramp.
Yeah, but the whole question was, will she come out ahead of Pointy? And she did.
And she is leading out.
Whoa!
Not anymore. Oh, and that was a big chunk as well.
Yeah, that was a big chunk.
Absolutely murdered there by the Ferrari Piogne.
Oh,
that's
no.
an unfortunate one, and that's going to be a big penalty for there
that
as well. That's going to have wrecked the Lambo as well.
Yeah, she took that wall head on.
Huge damage.
I think the vegan is angry about all the jokes.
So that's going to unfortunately throw the Lamborghini out of a chance of winning this race. Yeah. But also it's going to threaten the Ferrari's chance of winning this race because there's going to be another penalty for one of the leading Ferraris in this race.
But do you want to hear the good news?
Hit me with the good news.
Dan Terry actually gained 2 positions on that, pretty much.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. 2 positions on AMS, but he is now second so far, it seems, out of the drivers in Pro.
Yeah, I'm trying to do some math here, which I shouldn't be doing, I know. Oh, Moral's car is bunked.
Yeah, it's big bunked.
Ah.
She's going to be crawling around. At this point, I think it probably would have just been
At this point, it's over. I'm sorry, it's over.
It's taking a long time to get back. Should have hit the tow button there.
Yeah. So, let's assume Pointy gets a penalty. That puts Heiner Rescue in the lead.
Yep, Mihai Hunarescu could be winning in a McLaren for the amateur split.
I don't think he has any actual wins yet in the ACC SS, but hey.
Oh, he's actually not going to get a penalty as it goes so far.
Really?
It is viewed of the stewards as 285 loses control in front of 78 and hits the brakes. So she was getting a bit of a loud pedal coming out of that second part of Lacombe and then slammed on the brakes. And it was judged that Pyongyi was just behind her there.
I'm not sure I agree with that one, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, it definitely we couldn't see that she was braking. So if that is what happened, I could definitely see how it would be hard to avoid for Pyongyang. It looked really bad from the stream perspective, but it doesn't show the whole story. And obviously, the stewards are in the replays getting there, so hopefully they've got a good view of it. So this means that, unfortunately, there's going to be at least one man who's going to be mad in the chat because he bet 1,000 that a non-Ferrari would win the amateur split, and it looks like Pyongyang has a decent chance now.
Yeah, there might actually be a bit. The last few people are coming to this. Yeah,
Sakansi is actually losing a position to Brian Dahl here. Awkward line there.
No, that doesn't make sense because that means he actually made a mistake somewhere because he lost 2 positions.
Yep. He was also taken before that by Nathan Wells, clearly at some point. Well, there's a bit of a fight going on behind them as well. Bawashi.
Oh, it's fine.
Bawashi is getting attacked by Hodge. Hodge going around the outside of him into Campus. Side by side through Campos. Good driving by both of them to not make an incident. Mercedes there being a bit careful and having a bit of a wiggle coming out of Campos.
But so the Lexus sticks. The Lexus has stuck it.
Yeah.
And then
Bawashi got the better line there and is now going to have a nice run out of Stavilo. Mercedes going to struggle to keep up to that Lexus.
Yes. Let's go look back here somewhere.
So the pit window has closed, which means that I hope everyone was in the pits before that happened.
Yeah,
it looks like
the last car was Hearn, and he made it across the line before the window closed.
Beautiful. So these guys are going to slot back in, and then we will see how our order is going to be running towards the end of the race.
It is currently Greytrix and Zambrano and Terry in the no, that doesn't make sense. Not Zambrano. Greytrix, Terry, presumably Wells in the tier 3, and in tier 4 it's going to be Poini, Tikansi, and Hoina Rescue, provided nothing bad happens. And I believe it's thank you for the follow, JVP. I was shouting Dan's name, that's not good.
I like how our bot decided that SH Star T was rude enough to be on the
I don't know what settings we have in the auto mod.
We've got an Aggie auto mod. I kind of adore him. I kind of like him. So Rob shouting Dan, I assume just because he's doing incredibly well right now in second position still.
Hashtag free whip.
Rolling around with the meme name.
I'm actually going to go into P11 here because Andy Forbes is actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's looking to get around Zambrano. Zambrano fans in the chat hoping that he won't manage it. And Adam Raynor, personal friend of a lot of ours who are working at ACCSS, looking good as well. Oh, and then Forbes just had a big mistake there coming out of Stavilo, a little bit too hard on it. Raynor isn't going to be able to get around there because there's just no room. That's going to slow him down.
No, it's a Bentley. He'll make room.
Putting him right on there, looking aggro through Blanchemont. That's not really where you want to go aggro there. Unfortunately, he lost a little bit of time there. Actually, it was just before Blanchemont even. That's really aggro. Going to come up. Perhaps Adam Raynor can make the dive happen, but he's fallen just a little bit back from being a bit over eager.
There's always the source. There's always the source.
The Lexus of Harvey. Was that Harvey? I think it was Harvey that was spun around there. No, Harvey is actually leaving the pit lane, so that was a different Lexus, probably a back marker.
Alright, we're gonna go on to Paul Cramp, who is very interested in Sakansi, I guess.
Yep, chasing down Sakansi. He is 5th right now in Pro. Stuck between the two latter podium splitters of AM, so he's going to have to get past this. We can chasing down Dolan Wells, who you can just see ahead of these two, running through towards Bruxelles.
I was just gonna take a moment to look at Jordi Zambrano because he's doing well actually.
Yep,
His pit
Zambrano.
strategy has really benefited him. He started 13th, but he's not a guy that's usually up this high.
Him and Andrew Thorpe both making up huge amounts of positions. Andrew Thorpe actually making up 12 positions from his qualifying, so really nice run by him. Spa, a track that definitely is good for the consistent drivers.
Speaking of which, we're just gonna take a moment here. Strategy is dead. And McVie, who is a championship contender, basically dead. Just want to point that out there because they were Ollie Henley's pretty much only challengers.
Yeah, so not a bad race for Henley to be thrown out of, since none of his challenges would be getting the points. Zambrano now being challenged again by Thorpe, as we're watching Greatix leading from Pyongyang. Real close now as we're coming up through this last straight. These are both some of the slowest cars we're going to have on there. Wheel onto the grass there by the Bentley. The Mercedes getting a bit worried there, trying to keep a big wide line. So we're going to run into Adam again, having nice braking towards the chicane, but just not quite being close enough to make anything happen with it. And slowed down a little bit too much into the chicane as well, probably because he's really trying to slow his car down from that aggressive braking position, which is going to let Zambrano and Thorpe pull out a little bit of a lead. Also, the Lexus of Harvey is starting to come up behind him now.
4 people, all with a fighting chance. I am gonna look elsewhere though, because Al is threatening Wells now. And this is a podium position after all.
Yep, this is 3rd position being fought over by Dowles and Wells. Wells in the Honda, leading this little pack of cars. Dowell with almost a second faster lap time on the last lap, so really pulling in this car.
Actually, yeah, I'm just checking. The fastest lap times go to Fabien Poigny, who is pulling pretty regular 2:18s.
Yep, really impressive.
We're just gonna go back to Zambrano and look. He has lost ground, but Rayner hasn't. Of course, Rayner's real battle is still Harvey behind him in the same class.
Yeah, and Harvey is getting real aggro now on Rayner. Rayner, unfortunately, not being able to be consistent enough over the lap, but he has been looking strong in some of the overtaking zones, so I wouldn't be surprised if Harvey is right up behind him throughout Sector 2 and then struggles to make that last move. So you can see him just catching up to the Mercedes as well, whereas Thorpe, after having got past, has sprinted away.
Alright, Greatrix is in the final lap. This is the game. We're just gonna have to multitask here because I'm gonna go back and look at Wells and Dal as they enter La Source in a few seconds.
Yeah, definitely getting to the point where you could see a move happen.
Fury. It won't, so we're just gonna go back here.
As we're getting Rayner again having good braking.
Whoa!
The Lexus, though, running much faster through the middle of
Harvey,
the corner.
calm down.
Yeah, he's now going to be putting possible moves on Rayner as well. Rayner is now pinned to the side a little bit. I think Harvey should have stayed a little far over. He's trying to come over to take the better line. But what might have been better is for him to push Rayner off the line. But Rayner did go in quite a bit over.
No, this is good, this is good.
Yeah, he's still got a decent enough line. I really think Harvey should have focused more on punishing Rayner's line rather than getting his own line well. Because he did manage to get a good line himself, but just the differential wasn't as big as it could have been if he'd pushed Rayner to the wall and then moved out to take his line at the last second.
Poigny and Greatrix are pretty content to just run it through. Dal might make a last-second dive on Wills. We'll see in a few seconds.
Yep, these two are definitely close together.
We're just gonna go on board with him for a sec. Zambrano has gotten a drive-through, actually. I think that's for cutting the track.
Yep, he wasn't in the pits, and there's nothing on our steward sheet, so that is for incessant track cutting. He's been a little bit aggro on those corners and is going to take a big penalty for that one.
And yeah, we'll look at the leaders, but they are not doing much, as I said.
It's not interesting. They've been sitting behind each other for a long time. They
They're
are
both
both content
now,
with their
but,
P1s.
Yeah. But they are crossing the line, so we might as well look
at
at them. That sounded wrong.
Absolutely. The green Ferraris really making it the...
All Grey Turks wins Tier 3, Fabian Paini wins Tier 2. And now we're gonna look back. Might is...
Yep, all looking for the run. He's gone around the outside there, a nice bit of dive, but the Honda taking a nice line through the middle of there
P2
stops him from doing anything here. Next fight going on. Actually, Harvey looks like he's dived Zambrano and Thorpe. Is that right? Or no, just Zambrano. Thorpe is way off in the front, but now
and Raynor is just dropping positions.
Con's diving on Raynor, really aggro move there, but only little bits of door tapping.
That's kind of a penalty.
Raynor off of the line where he can run, and he's now gonna come through and take that position off him.
Yeah, and Zambrano's gotta get 80 seconds.
Ooh.
More drama. Let's find some drama. Nope, Kabay comes in.
Schultzen is being followed by... Actually, it looks like Terry. Is that Terry or is Hughes? Hughes is just in a very similar livery.
For some reason.
Yep. Hearn behind him as well. But Hughes sort of in the middle of this stops there being really a fight, as that was really close there from McLaren. But braked in time.
Hugo Sanchez has gained 20 positions this race. Just want to point that out.
Fantastic.
Started from the pits, making it P24. And that's more or less all the guys I can mention. David Cox is dead. Despite having a okay race, I think. But, yeah. I'm just going to pick up a big old timetable here. For the sake of our beloved viewers.
Yep, Piogne taking the overall win ahead of actually we can't this don't believe this because this is obviously Paul Greatix has left the server already.
Oh, okay,
Paul
so that's not gonna matter that
taking
much.
The overall win, with Piogne taking the amateur win. There we go.
And the session just going. Okay, now I can press it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there we go. That's
correct.
Much better.
Paul Greatix in first position, winning the whole thing. Piogne in second. Dan Terry, third position, second for the pros. Wells then taking the fourth, and Ball taking the fifth. Before the next AM is Sikansi on the podium. Paul Krampf just ahead of Mihai, who is the next amateur to take the podium, and then Thorpe and Harvey round out our top 10.
Yeah, and if there's anyone you want to see, it is a great time to ask. Really
Ferrari,
the best time.
Ferrari did win AM, so that prediction is done.
Also, let's just oh shit, sorry, my game just made a mistake here. I was about to say something. Driver of the day. They're actually. I don't know if this works. I can't spell. I don't know if it works. We'll find out.
Right, we'll give it a go. If not, we'll just count it out anyway. So P1 to P10 for which driver you think did the best. We got Rob already putting in a vote for Daniel Terry in P3. P2, a vote for Fabien Piogne. P1, if you want to vote for Paul Greatix. P4 for N. Wells. P11 is unfortunately not between P1 and P10.
Oh.
2:18.5 in a race. Yeah, it's real strong. Piogne did 2:18.5. Henley did a 2:18.4, although unfortunately disconnected. And then Paul Greatix did a 2:18.9. Those are the only 3 who managed to get into 218 in the race pace.
You know, I feel pretty confident in saying that Poigny's going to win that one.
Yeah. Lots of votes coming in for Fabien Pionnier.
Alright, we're going to go back to what's called People Cam. I'll give you a fair warning here, so I'm just going to go...
I remembered to remove my camera from the dungeon this time.
It's so handsome. We're so handsome. I can do that too. I can definitely do that. So yeah. Gareth, what are your takeaways from this?
It was good. Somehow, this week, I think all of us have discovered from both SimGrid and from our own races that people can't do Spa. Spa is it's just too hard. People, absolute chaos a lot of the time. Not just with incidents. Like I said, even in this race, there wasn't a huge number of incidents, but just people just dying, absolutely throwing themselves off the track. Clearly, a track that we need to come back to. Both for our entertainment as viewers, but also for getting people a little bit more confident on this track, a little more consistent.
I mean, we visit it every season, but for some reason people never learn it. But they should, because it's a lovely track, and it's probably the track I've driven the most in any game ever. I would have won. So yeah, we are about to wrap it up. Do you want to say something, Gareth, or should I just start writing off a bunch of things?
I'm going to shout out on Tuesday. Obviously, we're doing more ACC. We're running the first time of DT's 8-lap bangers. 8-minute qualifying, 8-lap race, 5 times in a row. I would have liked to 8 times in a row, but that ends very close to midnight. So 5 times in a row. In AC. It's going to be big fun.
Very fun. And tomorrow, of course, we have the gold split. That's a hint.
Yeah, myself and Mihai should be there for that.
Yeah, you should probably be there with Mihai Hoyner-Rescu. Yes, for the co-seat. And probably me shouting something obscene in the chat, because that's what I do.
Yeah. Hopefully the pros will be able to actually get through a Rouge and Radded without bidding yet, although I've seen a few of them in the practice server, so not all of them will manage it, I don't think.
And now we're seeing all the old guys in the chat, and don't worry, we did mention you in the race when you watch it back. And King Bun says we're pronouncing his name right. I'm sorry, who are you again?
He's Mihai.
In that case, I mean, we've been getting his name right from day one. So with that shock on the order, let's just I'll just start here. Thanks to the live stewards for stewarding the race. Thanks to SimRacing GP for hosting the race. Thanks to Gareth for showing up. Thanks to the viewers, I guess. Thanks to me for being here. Thanks for Doc Rock for being here, and he just disappeared. My co-host just disappeared. He's just you're not.
Yeah, my for some reason my internet decides. I mean, I'm happy it does it this way. It decides to kill itself just after the race.
Yes,
I'm happy at least does that rather than during the race.
Anyway, we'll see you next week for yet another race on yet another track. But more importantly, tomorrow at the same time, there's the gold split, and you should watch it. So, good night.
Start ignition, count to 0. I just wanna be a superhero. With fearless thoughts, emotions swirl.